Good morning, everyone. It's Friday. I am just finishing up my trip in Disneyland, and I have no idea how the internet is today or the sound because it's not my usual setup. I'm just in a hotel. So do me a favor. If you can hear me, you can see me, all is good. Give me a thumbs up, give me a yes, hello, good morning, something that tells me all my tech is working, and then I'll sit back and relax. I don't have a ton of time today. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to go live or not, but had a few minutes to pop on. And many of you have written me some questions about my upcoming 90-day total energy turnaround program, which starts April 1st. So I wanted to pop on and be able to answer any questions because many of you are like, is this right for me? What do I do? And today is the last day for 50% off. So I just wanted to be here. Oh, awesome. Thank you. Thank you guys for the thumbs up and letting me know we're all good. Thank you so much. I just wanted to make sure that if any of you guys had questions about that I'd be here available for you. I can also take some other questions as well. It just won't be as long of a Q&A today because I've got to get in the car, pack up the car, get on the road, and heading to Palm Springs tomorrow. So had a great time in Disneyland. Any of you out there love Disney? Because I find it's one or the other. You either love it and it's a stress reliever, or it's totally stressful. And for me, my stress level is so low when I'm in Disneyland. And I think I figured out it's because I just get to be a kid and go with the flow. Like you can't stress over anything because if you do, it's just a horrible experience, right? So I just wander and I book my things and I ride and I laugh and I just, I love it. So my stress is way low after being here. So how are you guys all doing? Anyone over on Facebook? I'm not sure I see anyone over there, so I'm wondering if it is working. Love Disney. Awesome, Shelly Marie. That's awesome. Me too. Me too. We rode the Incredicoaster during World of Color, which was freaking great. That was awesome. And I think my son and I kind of agreed. I think Indiana Jones definitely one that we hit up a lot, and Space Mountain were definitely roller coaster. But at the same time, just the energy, just the happy energy, everyone just families together and having a good time together. And that warms my heart, you know? So any questions for today? Like I said, it'll be a little bit shorter Q&A, but I did want to pop in. And seriously, guys, today's the last day for 50% off on my 90-day program. And many of you have already signed up. I can't wait to work with you. Look, stress is not doing us any favors right now. And stress is definitely linked to every chronic disease that we experience in our country. And so if we don't start paying attention to it and doing something about it, we're just going to get sicker. And so I want to teach you how to do that. And so would love to have many of you in there. I have one question over on Instagram here. If you have the C677T mutation, do you need to avoid folic acid and take methylated B? Yeah, I actually encourage everyone to take methylated Bs, whether you have the MTHFR mutation or not. Just because they're more active in the body, you get better absorption, you get better utilization. Why pay for a vitamin that you're literally just going to pee out, right? We want the most active forms of our vitamins anyway. But if you are someone who has this mutation, and for those of you that don't know what it is, it's a mutation that doesn't allow as efficiently folic acid to turn into activated folate. So this causes lots of problems, namely blood pressure issues, depression issues, sometimes fertility issues. I have this mutation, so I'm very familiar with it. And methylated B vitamins is a workaround. It's a way to do it because the body then doesn't have to convert the folic acid into methylated folate. It provides that methyl group. And I just think it's a better way to take B vitamins anyway. And you'll notice in my store, Total Health Apothecary, that my Total B complex is all activated B vitamins. There's no point taking them other ways. And honestly, the cost difference isn't much. It might be like $2 more to get methylated, you know, but worlds more physical benefit. Yeah. Hi, Clearly Lex, how are you? Hi, my question is, I have low free T3 and normal low TSH. What could this mean? I'm always cold and horribly constipated. How to treat? This is a great question. Let's talk thyroid for a second. So the thyroid has multiple parts. Okay. The TSH comes from the brain. So all it is a signal. It doesn't really tell us whether or not our thyroid is low, but it tells us whether or not our body might be impacted by something or trying to adapt to something. T4 is actually made in our thyroid gland, and it's released into the bloodstream and converted into T3. Now, T3, which is what I'm being asked about, being low, is what actually gives us the benefit of the thyroid, our energy, our hair, our skin, our nails, warm, hot sensations, sleep, all these types of things, weight. These are all managed more by T3 than T4. But the one thing that a lot of doctors don't check is the other side of this equation. So if you have T4 right here in the middle, it's supposed to go to T3. It can also go to something called reverse T3. Now, reverse T3 is a storage hormone. So when does our body store? Anyone who watches me regularly? Our body stores when it's under stress, when it's frightened. It says, I don't know, there might be another bear. I'm going to hold off. I'm just going to hang on to this a little bit longer because it has to decide. The thyroid keeps us alive, right? So it's going to give just a little bit to T3 and most to reverse T3. So my first question, clearly, Lux, would be, have you had your reverse T3 checked and was it high? So often what I find is the T3 is low and the reverse T3 is high. And this means that the body is storing. This means adrenal fatigue. This is what I reverse and fix pretty much on the daily, every single day. This is what my program helps with. My 90-day program absolutely helps with better conversion in the thyroid. Okay, it does. So there's a couple things that could be happening. One, and it could be a combination. One, too much stress, adrenal fatigue is causing a lack of conversion to T3. You're making enough, but you're not using enough. Does that make sense? That's why the thyroid, why it could be normal. Your T4 is on the low end. Oh, okay. Still, if you're not balanced, it should be, if you have a low T4, of course you'd have a low T3, but it still could be due to reverse T3, right? Could be a mineral issue, an absorption issue. Takes minerals, which is where I was going to go next. So let's say it's not reverse T3, right? What are the other things that could impact thyroid function, whether it be in conversion or actual production? We're looking at minerals. You have to have proper minerals. You have to have proper gut flora. You have to be absorbing your nutrients. Once again, what's the number one thing that stops us from absorbing our nutrients? Stress, adrenal fatigue. If you're running from a bear, you're not going to digest your food. Your mineral deficiencies will be there. You have to replenish that. So the last thing that can also cause problems is if your estrogens are off. So if your estrogens are too high, if you're also storing estrogens, that can also have a feedback onto the thyroid. Why would we store estrogens? Anyone? Come on, make it interactive. Let's go. Anyone want to take a guess? Yes, also adrenal fatigue. I'm not kidding when I say that stress impacts every single area of the body, and the thyroid always is impacted. So if you're going to your physician and they're giving you a medication, and even if they get the numbers up and you're like, I don't feel any better, I'm always cold, I'm tired, I'm depressed, I'm gaining weight, it's because the thyroid is not being utilized properly. And that is almost always due to some sort of stress. And when you remove that stress, you improve the nutrition, you improve the digestion, you improve the hormones, the thyroid will also improve. Does that make sense? How do we know how much or which minerals we need? This is exactly what I teach in my program. Exactly, 100%. Like, have you checked it out? TheTotalEnergyTurnaround.com. 50% off until midnight tonight, and then it goes to full price. And it starts on April 1st. If my book talks about this. I have a ton of videos and articles on this on my website as well. But primarily, the minerals that are involved in the thyroid are selenium, zinc, magnesium. Those are big ones. And just supplementing them won't help, though, if the body is still under stress, because they won't absorb them as well. Does that make sense? So if you imagine you're in the woods and you see a bear, right? And the body just wants to survive. So your body's in fight or flight mode. It wants to run. It doesn't care if your thyroid is tanked. It just wants to run. So a lot of the times we try to take all these supplements, but we have to look at the root cause, guys. We have to. I've been out here talking about how conventional medicine is actually keeping us sicker by keeping us on medications and supplying Band-Aids. It's really important that you look at why the heck is the body not absorbing the minerals or having an impact on the thyroid? What can we do about it to make a lifetime change, not just an in-the-moment change? Does that make sense? You can only get so far with medications and supplements. You have to look at it from a 4-pronged approach: nutrition, exercise, supplement, and mindset. And this is what my 90-day program does. Seriously, I would love to help you all with this because it's amazing. And check out some of the reviews on people, especially with thyroid, that, came off anxiety medication, lost tons of weight. They're no longer taking thyroid medication. I mean, I have so many. And it's awesome to watch because they take their health back. And that's what I want you to do. Liz is asking a question over on Facebook along this line. Low T3 and low reverse T3 is adrenal fatigue? No, high T3. High reverse T3. Sorry, guys. High reverse T3 is adrenal fatigue. Now, you can have adrenal fatigue and not have high reverse T3, right? Because there's obviously stress impacts every single system in our body. But if you have high reverse T3, you can pretty much guarantee that the adrenal fatigue is further along. Does that make sense? It's further along in the process. I like to capture people before it gets out of range, like in the high end of the range, because then it's really easy to flip back. When it gets to the high end of the range, sometimes it can be a little difficult, takes a little bit longer, but does happen. Usually within 3 months, 6 months if it's way, 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 way high, but weeks if it's in range, but on the high end of the range, by addressing nutrition, exercise, mindset, and supplement. But everyone has stress in their lives and not everyone's thyroid is causing them to have symptoms, right? Because we all have different bodies. So stress impacts everything. But the thyroid is a huge one impacted. And we have stress, but let me explain how we adapt to stress. I have stress. I run businesses. I'm a mom. I see patients. Like I have stress, but how I interpret it changes, right? So that's kind of my point. Is that we can't get rid of the stress. We are inundated. We have social media, we have media, we have negativity, we have so much crap coming down the pipeline all the time that we have no choice but to adapt. And you have two choices when you adapt. You can adapt to modify for the stress, which would mean you let your body adapt, which means poor thyroid, poor gut health, poor immune system, cardiovascular impact, anxiety, depression, insomnia. Right? Because these are our bodies adapting. Or you say, no, I'm not going to let that into my field. That's where the mindset comes in. It is huge, guys, huge. You have to teach your body what a bear is and what a bear isn't. And with the constant stimulation, this is going to get worse. And the more medications we pile on, the more we ignore it, the longer we go before we take action on this and change the way we look at stress, the more stress will happen. There's also a difference between external stress and internal stress. So the fact that your thyroid is low is stressful to begin with, internally, right? So if you go to make serotonin and your body doesn't have enough B6, that's stressful. So this isn't simply about divorce and life and media and, all the crap that comes flying out. That's not all what it is. But once your body starts to adapt to that, you get nutritional deficiencies, you get changes in your chemistry, in your physiology, and that causes more stress. I call it the stress hamster wheel. So I want to help you guys get off that hamster wheel, if that makes sense. Put a cork in it and just let your body adapt in a different way. Because I don't see the way we're adapting right now is not working. And you see it in the young kids, you see it in the ADHD, you see it in the autism rates, you see it in crime. You see it in our society is being impacted in our kids, more depression, anxiety, drug use, insomnia in young kids because they're growing up in a world that's inundated. So we have to adapt ourselves so we can also adapt them appropriately. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I see a couple more questions. I can take a couple more before I head out here. Let's see. Thank you. Thank you for the fires. I'm on fire. Gosh, you guys should have seen World of Color last night. Put up this huge, it was like this, I took a video of it. I'll have to post it, but like this huge fireball up into the sky. It was crazy. It was crazy. Richard says, definitely. Thank you. I'm telling you, you're going to start hearing more and more over the next 5 years from the conventional world saying, stress is causing disease. May sound crazy now. You may be looking at me saying, okay, Dr. P, I don't know. I'll just stick with it. I'm telling you, physiologically, we're not going to survive it if we don't change it. hate to be grim, but that's the way it is. Let's see. No thyroid, removed in 2009 due to cancer, taking Armour. Currently in menopause, and weight gain is my biggest complaint. Any ideas what will help with weight? It's hard for me to tell you what will help because I haven't seen your labs. Typically, if you type, you can't do it while I'm live. I think you have to do it after I'm live or on any one of my posts. If you type the word labs, I'll DM you a lab list of what I run. You have to look at all of those together to be able to see where the imbalance is with weight gain. But I find a lot of it comes down to gut health. A lot of it comes down to the body storing things. It's holding. Do you feel like you're holding emotionally, physically? Anyone? When I get stressed out, I can actually feel my body holding. And it's kind of I don't know how to describe it. I guess it's kind of obviously I don't see anything holding, but I feel it. I feel heavy. I feel like something's not moving. Something's not right, whether it be my lymphatic system or whether it be I hold a lot in my heart just from past grief, right? So when you're holding, the body will hold weight. The other things to consider, Shelley Marie, is the impact of insulin, the impact of blood sugar, and the impact of stress on insulin. If the body's running from a bear, it's going to hold weight. You're saying it's your biggest concern. Have you looked at adrenal fatigue? Have you taken my quiz? Another thing, so you type labs for lab, type quiz for a link to my quiz. You can also find my quiz on my website. And if it comes back that you're impacted by adrenal fatigue, seriously, guys, sign up for my program today before midnight Pacific time because it's 50% off. Tomorrow it doubles. I still want to see you in it, and I still have a payment plan. I've still waived all the fees for the payment plan, but the price will go up. So it is really, this program, I'm involved. This program is definitely worth more than it's listed right now. So you guys should hop in and let me help you. And we do these Q&As, but only with the people in the program. So I have more time with you to answer more questions. Okay, but I already saw that one. Let's see. My B6 is high on blood work for some reason, and I was told B6 supplements are a neurotoxin. How do we approach this? High on like Sonora Quest or LabCorp blood work, that doesn't tell you much of anything. The other thing to consider is, do you have the MTHFR mutation, which impacts B6, B12, and folate? There's always a reason. Here's the way I look at this, right? Two different viewpoints. You're high on B6. We use this as an example. The doctor says you're high on B6, stop taking it, it's a neurotoxin. And you say, okay, doc, and you leave. Option one. Option two is you're high on B6. You come to me, I say, wait a minute, why are we high in B6? What's your B12? What's your folate? What's going on with your insulin? What's going on with your serotonin? Do you have adrenal fatigue? Let me look at your hormones. What's your other nutritional markers? Are your minerals also low? Do you have a parasite in your gut? Do you have something going on inside your gut that's changing the way that B6 is metabolized? Let's have a conversation, do lab work, and keep digging. Two different approaches. Make sense? I don't just like B6 is high. Okay, why? I don't know the answer yet because we have to look. We have to figure why the heck would B6 be high in you and not in me, right? Unless you're taking like 1,000 milligrams of B6 every day and you stop it and it goes back down to normal and you feel great, well then, okay, then approach number one works. But if not, something's going on in that pathway. B6 is involved in every single hormone pathway in our body. Let me repeat that. B6 is involved in every single hormone pathway in our body. Okay? It's required to break down food, right? It's required for energy production. It's required for mood stabilization, right? So why is it sitting in the blood and not being absorbed into the cell? Why is it not being used? So instead of saying, oh, this is toxic, perhaps the body's trying to give us an idea as to what's going on. Does that make sense? Okay. I hope that helps. Do you do the total health turnaround 90-day? Does it include labs? It doesn't include labs in the price, but I do give you a lab list, and I am looking at offering the ability to do labs and pop on for a hot seat for me to help you kind of work through them and do an understanding of how to interpret your labs. So I would very much love to do that. And I do have that capacity. So if you were joining and you were like, hey, Dr. P, I'd love to, on a live Q&A, talk about labs and what the results mean and such, that's absolutely an option. As well as cortisol, salivary cortisol testing. I already offer labs for you to be able to order. So I think it would be awesome to sit down and go through, and this is 100% in the program, sitting down and going through what all the labs mean, like, what do I look at when I look at a CBC? What do I look at when I look at a thyroid profile? What do I look at when I look at adrenal labs, right? This is all education. I think right now doctors are just saying, oh, it's in range, take care. And that's just not working for you, right? Doesn't work for me. This is all about education. It's all about figuring out what's going on. So the group program, absolutely. We do it as a group. So obviously it's not one-on-one. But learning a lot about how to look at your labs, you can have them in front of you. And when I go through the CBC, you can see if you have some of those markers that I'm calling out. What is your body trying to tell you? Not only do people walk away from the 90 days with feeling better energy, better sleep, better nutrition. A lot of the times, many, if you're following the plan, we always see weight loss of some sort. I hate to promote it as that though, because the body holds weight when it's not balanced. So it's really about balancing it and then walking away, understanding, okay, my body's trying to tell me X, Y, Z. Now I know what to do. Now I know what things to talk to my doctor about. Or if at that point you're like, hey, Dr. P, I want to work with you one-on-one, you apply, and we could do it together. Menopausal weight gain and hot flashes, how can we balance it? Same thing I'm talking about. Can you explain about your program just joined? Yeah, so it starts April 1st. It's 90 days. It includes the 4 aspects that I always talk about. There's a nutrition plan, which, yes, guys, for those of you that start popping on saying, oh, well, I'm allergic to this. Well, I don't want to be plant-based. Oh, well, I don't. We absolutely modify. And that's what those live Q&As are for, is like, hey, I liked this recipe. I didn't like that. My body really feels better when it has more protein. How could I incorporate that? Those are the types of things that we work through, because there is always a small amount of customization in diet, but it's a 30-day meal plan, like with recipes, shopping lists, that focus on healing adrenal fatigue. So it's a very nutrient dense diet that has a lot of possible adaptations. And you do it twice. So there's a 60 days of that is in a meal plan. There's also an exercise plan. There's also a mind-body mindset work. There's also a ton of education on how is stress impacting your health. So if you're coming in saying, gosh, I have high blood pressure, could stress be it? You'll walk out knowing whether or not stress is impacting your blood sugar, your blood pressure, and what to do with it, do about it. Your thyroid, your blood sugar, your mood, your sleep, your energy, your weight, right? Any of you out there that have done it? Oh, there's one, Steve. I can vouch for the program. It was excellent and well worth it. Thank you, Steve. And people sometimes ask, do you see men? Yes, Steve joined our program. He did great. And Brenda has done the program. I've done the program and it's amazing, right? She's telling you. It's 90 days and we do it as a group program. So there's live Q&A calls with me. You also have a Facebook group. So along the way, in between the calls, if you have a question, I jump in and answer them. I also have an accountability coach in there that also jumps in and answers stuff and helps keep you on track. And you're basically looking at the foundation of healing adrenal fatigue. And when you do that, what's so cool is the body comes out telling you what it needs. And that's the key to healing. Because until we start reconnecting our brain to our body and understanding what our body needs, our unique body, what it needs, we're not going to get anywhere, right? What times are the calls? So here's what I do with the times. I'm going to be sending them next week. I see where people are signing up from, like what time zone. And then I'll put in the Facebook group, hey, I'm looking at, these times and these times. Can the majority of you make it? And so I'll either set it up where I have varying times so that people can make it, or if most people can make it in general around the same time, then I'll set it at that. So I like to get everyone in the group first and involve you guys in that decision. Typically, I do them later in the day, Pacific time, so that they're after work. Unless everyone's like, no, we want 8 a.m., then whatever, I make it work. So if you do join, make sure you answer that question in the Facebook group. But it's thetotalenergyturnaround.com. It's 50% off until midnight today. There is a payment plan. Finance fee was waived. Okay. Holding lymph and waste. This is my first time seeing you here on IG. Thank you for the info. Oh, welcome. Yeah, we hold lymph, we hold waste, and that makes us toxic. And guess what, guys? That's stressful on the body. Any of you who don't poop every day, your body's in stress. Just 100%. I can say that with 100% certainty. You have adrenal fatigue if you don't poop every day. Okay, I got to run through because I got to get out of here. I'll finish up the questions that are here. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for joining me here while I'm in Disneyland today on my little spring break. A Sunthriver saying you have one copy of C677T, and my sons tested positive for 2 copies. Does that mean they get it from their dad? Yes. 1 from each of you. So we all have 2 copies of genes. So if you have 1 copy, right, that means he has a copy as well. He may not have 2 though. Your husband may only have 1 copy. Signed up for the program and cannot wait to begin. Yes, Leslie, I cannot wait. Wait to see you, honestly. So thank you. I'm excited. I'm so excited. We're going to get so much done. We've already had questions in the Facebook group. It's awesome. And we don't even start till April 1st. I love it. Like, I love it. You guys, just so you know, a personal thing for me, like, I could have stayed in practice and just saw patients every day, 12 hours a day, and just helped people in small little increments along the way. That wasn't enough for me. I couldn't impact enough people. I couldn't make enough change. That's why I'm here online, creating programs, getting more people in, trying to reach more people, because we have to do something. Any moms, parents out there, like, I'm sorry, but we have to do something for the health of our children, because we are not going in the right direction when it comes to healthcare. We have to do something, right? I couldn't just sit back and see patients every single day. I healed my own adrenal fatigue, still healing it. And I want to say, I rode the Incredicoaster multiple times per day. I did spinning rides like the swings and stuff every day. I could not do that 10 years ago. My adrenal fatigue was so bad that I couldn't ride a roller coaster with my family. And I did it multiple times this week, 5 days in a row. And I feel great. And I'm so excited that I had the energy to walk that park for 5 days. It was great. And if you would backpedal me 10 years ago, I could not do that, guys. I could not. So you have every bit of power to change your health right now, so that you can do those things in a few years, sooner. You don't have to settle, right? So I'm here because I know it can be done. I've seen it done countless times, and I want to be a resource for you. So here I am. So if you've been wanting to join the program, you're on the fence, today's the day, 50% off, thetotalenergyturnaround.com. Make sure you get the in there, thetotalenergyturnaround.com. You can also reach it from my website. You can get it from my link in bio. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for showing up today. I'm glad I was able to be here. I will be back next week as usual. For those of you that were new, I go live every Friday at this time. So, for live Q&As. So really excited to see some of you in the group. So I'm psyched. You guys have a great day. Happy Friday. Great weekend. Bye-bye.